In this tutorial, I'll give you all the necessary tools to properly name your devices using the preferred AMX Hungarian notation. Let's begin by referencing the Netlinks Programming Style Guide for details on proper Hungarian notation for device naming. Hungarian notation is a widely accepted identifier naming convention which is prepended to the identifier name in order to make it easier for programmers to discern the data type of any given identifier. For more details on all the Hungarian notation used in Netlinks, please refer to the addendum in the Netlinks Style Guide. As you can see here on the last page, there are effectively 3 Hungarian notation prefixes used for device naming. Those are DV, which is used when defining a single real device, VDV, which is used to define any virtual device, such as that used by the programmer to communicate with an AMX module, and lastly, DA, which is used when defining a device array, such as an array of touch panels as an example. Now that you know the appropriate notation to use for your device naming, let's discuss the actual name AMX recommends for use in creating names in defined device. There are a few rules you must follow. 1. Device names can only use numbers and letters. 2. You can't use special symbols except the underscore. 3. The names must begin with a letter. 4. The name for each device must be unique. And 5. The names aren't case sensitive. Therefore, you can't have a DVD player uppercase and a DVD player lowercase. They must be unique names. Please keep in mind that the point of device naming is simply to make the code easier to write, read, and maintain. In actuality, you could, anywhere in your code, simply reference the DPS of the device you are controlling. For example, Pulse, device 5001, port 21, system 4200, 4 would work just as well as Pulse, DV Relay, 4. Don't worry that you don't understand what all those numbers mean. We're getting to that in a couple of minutes. Let's say, for example, you have a Sony projector in one of your conference rooms. While you might be tempted to use a specific name for this device, such as DV Sony Conference Projector, which includes the manufacturer, location, and the device type, the issue here is twofold. One would be that additional work would be required whenever the programmer has to swap out the projector with, say, an Epson, for example. And 2 is that there could be other Sony projectors in other conference rooms, but tied to the same system, as part of a DGX, for example. On the other side of the coin, some programmers tend to err on the side of being too generic. The issue here comes when you have a DVD player, for example. You might think of DV disk device is the best choice. However, this would cause an issue because there are so many types of disk devices. One problematic scenario would be it's entirely possible there could be a CD player, a DVD player, and a Blu-ray player all in the same system, all disk devices. To make the code more scalable, readable, and maintainable, the recommended device definitions would look like this: DV Conference 102 Proj, DV Auditorium CD, DV Lab DVD, and DV Boardroom Blu-ray. The use of common industry abbreviations are also acceptable here, so we could simply use Proj for projector, or SWT for switcher, and VTC for video teleconference. If you're unsure if the abbreviation you might want to use is well known amongst the AV industry, just remember this simple rule: when in doubt, spell it out. Now that you have a good understanding of the naming conventions for your devices, the next tutorial will discuss proper device numbering using the AMX DPS assignments.